The world is becoming more and more competitive every single day, and if you are not able to keep up with the changes, then you will be left behind. The key to staying ahead of the competition is to be innovative in your thinking. But what exactly does that mean? How can you foster innovation within your company so that it becomes second nature? In this video, we'll take a look at how to do just that, so make sure to watch till the end. Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. So, when people think about innovation, they often think about Steve Jobs or Elon Musk. These guys are known for their out-of-the-box thinking. However, not everyone is as naturally creative as them. So, if you are struggling to come up with innovative ideas, don't worry, because today we're going to teach you how you can develop innovative thinking so that you can come up with brilliant ideas yourself. Before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you want to grow your wealth. 1. Break the rules. Rules are important. They give us structure and order. But sometimes rules can also stifle creativity. When you break the rules, you open yourself up to new possibilities. You may not know where those new possibilities will lead you, but that's part of the fun. Breaking the rules allows you to explore uncharted territory. And who knows, you may just discover something new and innovative. This doesn't mean that you should go around breaking all the laws. But when it comes to brainstorming ideas, don't be afraid to bend the rules a little. Let your mind run wild and see what happens. You may just surprise yourself with what you're capable of. The founder of Apple Computer Inc. was once asked what the secret to his success was. He replied, "I think if you look at most successful companies, they've done things differently. They've done things that were not necessarily by the book." He goes on to say that he thinks that being different and doing things differently is what has allowed him and his company to be successful. We couldn't agree more. If you want to be successful in business, you have to be willing to do things differently. You have to be willing to break the mold. 2. Think outside the box. This is a classic piece of advice that we all know but rarely follow. Why? Because it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day operations of your business and lose sight of the bigger picture. You may start to feel like there's no room for creativity or innovation in your industry, but that's just not true. There is always room for improvement, and there is always room for innovation. You just have to be willing to look for it. Thinking outside the box is essential for any business that wants to stay ahead of the curve. It's how you come up with new and innovative ways to solve old problems. It's how you develop new products and services that meet the ever-changing needs of your customers. And it's how you keep your business growing and thriving. So, if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like your business is in a rut, then it may be time to start thinking outside the box. What new and innovative ways can you serve your customers? What new products or services can you develop? How can you improve your operations? The possibilities are really endless. All you have to do is let your imagination run wild and then put some serious thought into making those ideas a reality. 3. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is often seen as a bad thing, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is that failure is an important part of the innovation process. In fact, some of the most successful companies and entrepreneurs in the world have failed many times before they achieved success. That's because it takes a certain amount of trial and error to find what works. You can't just come up with an innovative idea on your first try every single time. Most of the time, it takes several attempts to get it right. So don't be afraid to fail. Failure is just another excuse to learn and grow. And if you can embrace failure as a part of the process, then you will be able to innovate more effectively. In a study conducted by the psychologist Dr. Carol Duquette, she found that those who had a growth mindset, who believed that they could improve their intelligence and abilities through hard work and learning, were more successful than those who had a fixed mindset. Those who believe that their intelligence and abilities are set in stone. The reason for this is simple. Those with a growth mindset are more likely to take risks, to push themselves outside of their comfort zone, and to learn from their mistakes. They are also more resilient in the face of setbacks and are more likely to see failure as an opportunity for growth rather than as a setback. So, if you want to be successful in business, you need to have a growth mindset. You need to be willing to take risks and to learn from your mistakes. You also need to be resilient in the face of setbacks and never give up. Number 4, solve a problem. Innovation is often seen as something complicated and difficult to achieve, but the truth is that innovation can be simple and straightforward. One of the best ways to come up with innovative ideas is to simply try and solve a problem. This could be a problem in your personal life, in your business, or in the world around you. It doesn't matter what the problem is, as long as you're trying to solve it. So, if you're looking for innovative ideas, look no further than the problems in your life. What are you struggling with right now? What would make your life easier? What would make your business more successful? Once you identify the problems, you can start coming up with innovative solutions. And who knows, you may just come up with the next big thing. Take the example of Uber. Travis Kalanick, the co-founder of Uber, once said, "I think innovation starts with the customer. You look at what the customer's doing, you try to understand their pain points, and then you figure out how you can use technology to solve those pain points." In the case of Uber, the pain point was the difficulty of getting a cab in major cities. Kalanick and his co-founder Garrett Camp realized that there had to be a better way, and that is when they came up with the idea for Uber. They wanted to create a service that would allow people to summon a cab with the push of a button. Number 5. Be observant. Innovation often comes from noticing a need in the market that nobody else has addressed. That's why it's important to be observant of your surroundings. Pay attention to the world around you and notice the problems that people are facing. Once you start paying attention, you'll begin to see opportunities everywhere. Opportunities to create new products, new services, and even new businesses. Take, for example, the person who invented the Post-it note. 3M scientist Spencer Silver was trying to create a super strong adhesive. He ended up creating a weak adhesive by accident. Instead of giving up, he observed his surroundings and realized that there was a need for a weak adhesive. That's when he came up with the idea for the Post-it note. If you want to be successful in business, you need to be observant of your surroundings. You never know what opportunities might be lurking around the corner. So keep your eyes open and your mind sharp. Who knows, you may just be the next person to come up with a brilliant, innovative idea. Number 6. Foster a culture of innovation. If you want your business to be successful, you need to foster a culture of innovation. This means encouraging creativity and rewarding those who take risks and come up with new ideas. It also means being open to change and not being afraid to experiment. When you create a culture of innovation, you give your employees the freedom they need to come up with new and better ways of doing things. This leads to increased productivity, profitability, and competitiveness. Look at companies like Google and Apple. These companies have created a culture of innovation that has allowed them to stay at the forefront of their respective industries. Google, for example, encourages its employees to spend 20% of their time working on projects that interest them, even if those projects are outside of their job descriptions. This has led to some of Google's most innovative products, including Gmail, AdSense, and Google News. Apple, on the other hand, has a more secretive approach to innovation. The company's employees are often not even aware of what their colleagues are working on. This secrecy allows Apple to protect its intellectual property while also fostering a culture of creativity and risk-taking. As you can see, there are many different ways to foster a culture of innovation. The key is to find what works best for you and your business. If you are not careful, it is very easy to fall into the trap of doing things the same way over and over again. The world is constantly changing, and if you do not change with it, you will be left behind. If you want to be successful in business, you must be willing to innovate. You must be willing to think outside the box, to break the rules, and to take risks. But most importantly, you must be willing to learn from your failures. If you can do all of these things, then you will be well on your way to creating a successful and innovative business. Do you agree with the points we mentioned in this video? Let us know in the comments below. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to bringing you more great content in the future. Thanks for watching.